everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sandra. I'm a nurse practitioner and I've worked in the emergency room for all of my nursing career and my nurse practitioner career so far. This is my little dog Reese. She has been enjoying hanging out for the videos, so I thought I would make this a thing. And she loves her belly rubs. I know this time of year a lot of you are looking for jobs or about to start a new job as a new grad, and congratulations on finishing your programs and getting this far. That's a huge step and such an exciting time in your career, so congratulations. But I know at the same time a lot of you probably have a lot of anxiety and stress about starting the new job. It's something completely new to you, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, is the new nurse anxiety and stress. Because almost all of us get it, we all experience it, and it can be pretty overwhelming. But I want to talk about that stress a little bit and also give you guys some tips and advice about how to get through it and some encouragement for the future. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. I love talking about anything nursing, anything related to being a nurse practitioner. I also love talking about health and wellness, so if you guys are interested and you want to be part of my YouTube family, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get all my new videos. All right, so why do we get that new nurse anxiety, and why is it so overwhelming and sometimes debilitating for new nurses? Well, it's not just nurses. Anytime you start any new job or anything that's unfamiliar to you, you're usually going to experience some degree of anxiety or stress or anxiousness. And that just comes because of the lack of experience, the unfamiliarity of it. It's something you've never done before. It's completely brand new. So your body is going to react in this way. It's afraid of the unknown. It's experiencing something it's never experienced before. And this is your body's mechanism to say, whoa, something new is going on here, and wants you to take a step back and analyze the situation and make sure you're okay. It's very normal. It's very natural for anyone doing anything new to experience this stress, this anxiety, this anxiousness as they embark on something new. But for nurses in particular, we feel this anxiety so strongly. We are essentially jumping into an environment that doesn't slow down for our pace. This is completely brand new for us. If we were learning to play the piano, you would start at do, re, mi, and you would learn each note separately. And then you might learn jingle bells. And then over time, you're gonna learn songs that are a little more difficult. And then maybe in years, maybe you would be playing a concert in Carnegie Hall. But for nurses, we have to jump in with our basic knowledge from nursing school, and we are surrounded by people who are much more experienced than us, and we have to catch up. And that is incredibly stressful. They don't say, oh, we have a new nurse here, let's all slow down to their pace. No, that doesn't happen. That can't happen because we're taking care of patients. The healthcare systems have to function, patients have to be taken care of, and that competency and speed has to be maintained. So that's why it is incredibly stressful for us. We hit the ground running, whether that's in med-surg, whether that's in the emergency room, whether that's in the ICU. This is all new to us. Thankfully, we all start with a preceptor who can guide us and help us through those early months. But we've gone our whole lives doing something we haven't done before, and now we have to perform. And that transition, when you start seeing patients on your own, is when a lot of nurses say that's their most stressful time, is when they are separated from their preceptor and now they have to perform at the level of everyone else without that support. So just know that this is very normal, this is very natural. Most everyone experiences it, whether they are starting a job in a specialty or in med-surg. This anxiety and stress just comes with unfamiliar territory, and it will get better with time. The more you learn, the more experience you get under your belt, the more you are going to feel comfortable and confident in your role. And this just comes with time. You can't really speed it up. We're afraid of making mistakes. We're afraid of hurting patients. We're afraid of our licenses being on the line. This means you're a good nurse. This means that you care. This means that you're learning and that you're absorbing new information. Everything is coming at you very fast. So what can you do if we all need to get through this period of 6 months or even a year where you have this anxiety and you have this stress every day and this stress follows you home? What can you do? How can you cope through this period? There are things you can do to help you get through it. First of all, just accept the fact that we all go through this and that this is very normal and natural. If you can just come to terms with the fact that this is very normal and this is part of the process, you'll be able to enjoy it more and appreciate this time when you were so young, so fresh, and it's a part of your nursing career that's going to go away, and you're going to look back and say, yeah, I survived that. And it's part of the learning. So just enjoy it, just absorb it. Just realize this is a time of so much learning and your brain is absorbing so much new information. So another tip is be okay with the fact that you don't know everything. You are not expected to know everything. And ask for help if you need it. If you don't know where something is, ask the staff, ask a housekeeper, ask the unit clerk, ask people. Always ask. Don't ever put yourself on the line or your patients on the line because you don't know the answer and you're afraid to ask or you don't want to look dumb. Always, always ask. If you are unsure about something with a medication, ask another nurse, call the pharmacy, ask the doctor who ordered it. Don't be afraid to ask. And yes, you're going to run into nurses and doctors who are going to be impatient with you, who are going to be snippy with you, but don't let their reaction affect you. Always, always ask to protect yourself and to protect your patients. Even after so many years of experience working, if I'm unsure of something, I'll go to my coworkers and say, hey, what would you do in this situation? Or I go ask the doctors what they think. Or my coworkers will come to me and they will say, hey, what would you do for this patient? Or how would you handle this situation? We don't know everything. We are not expected to know everything. But having the support system and the resources is so beneficial when you are unsure. So always use that support you have. In healthcare, we are always learning, things are always changing, and you will never know everything. So just be okay with that and ask questions. So other things you can do, make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure that you are eating during your breaks, that you are drinking water throughout the day, that you are going to the bathroom when you need to. If you're holding it all day, that is a distraction. And trust me, I am guilty of that, especially as a new nurse. I would go hours and hours without going to the bathroom. And that is just not healthy for you. So make sure that you take a few minutes for yourself. It is totally okay to use the bathroom when you need to use the bathroom. I have been where you guys have been, and I have been that new nurse, and I am guilty of all of this. And that's why I just want to pass it on to you guys to let you know that you will survive, you will get better, and it is okay. I was always super grateful for the staff and nurses and doctors that encouraged me to go to the bathroom, to take a break, to take a minute for myself. Those are the people you are going to be so thankful for in those moments. And those are the people that are going to get you through this. That say, go take 5 minutes, go take 10 minutes to breathe, to have a cry, whatever you need to do. So that's why I'm here for you guys, because I have been through it and I know how stressful it is. So try to get enough sleep before you go into your shifts. Sleep is so important, and I'm guilty of this too, but when you are not getting enough sleep, your brain just cannot function optimally on little sleep. So make sure you're getting that 7-8 hours or whatever you need to feel like you are performing at your best. So you're always going to have those days that are more stressful than others. You can talk to any nurse and they will tell you that some days are absolutely horrid and some days are okay. And you're going to have those days that you just feel like you're crumbling, that you're falling apart, that you can't do this, that you can't cope. And on those days, I would say definitely take care of yourself. Take a moment after your shift to talk to the other staff, to vent to a friend, and to get it out. Don't keep it all bottled up inside. If you just feel like you are on the verge of crumbling, talk to a coworker. I am sure they can relate. I am sure they can understand where you're coming from. And that is just going to help you feel much more supported and know that you're not alone with this, that everyone goes through it, that everyone has gone through it. And getting that information outside of your body is going to help so much. So when you're in those moments where you just feel so stressed, that your brain is frozen, that you feel like you just don't know the next move to make, take some deep breaths. The brain can get overwhelmed. Take some deep breaths, get some oxygen into your lungs, allow your body to reset. And those few moments, even if it's just a minute or two, those are going to help you. If you can take 5 or 10 minutes, you are going to feel your body relax and release some of that tension. So don't let it keep building up in your body. Give your body a few moments to take a rest, to regroup, to recharge. 5 minutes to yourself can do wonders. If you need to step away for 5 minutes, let the nurses know you need to step away. They can watch your patients for 5 minutes. And those 5 minutes where you just go to breathe, to have a few moments to yourself are going to help you come back out to the floor and perform so much better. And you guys, I wish I could have taken this advice when I was a new nurse, because I never stepped away. I never took those moments to myself unless someone literally said, go do it. And then I would do it. And they know from experience. So listen to them and know that your body needs it. So when I was a travel nurse in San Diego, I started doing hot yoga. So yoga, or exercise in general, is very stress relieving to the body, and it gets your blood pumping, it releases endorphins. So make sure you are getting exercise. You're releasing some of that energy and tension that you've built up through the day. I love yoga, in particular hot yoga. It just releases that tension in your body. It's like a meditation after work. If you can find a hot candlelit yoga, that is such good therapy after a long shift. Whatever exercise makes you feel good, whatever exercise helps you release that tension, make sure you're doing it. Even 15 minutes after work where you're just running a mile or two, do it. It's gonna help keep your body functioning at its best. It's gonna help you clear your head, clear your thoughts, release that energy, release that tension. So those little pocketbooks and resources that we learn about in nursing school are really instrumental when you're on the floor. So as a nurse practitioner, I always carry the EMRA antibiotic book. I don't have it with me, it's out in my car, but I use that pocketbook every day because I don't have antibiotic doses memorized or what to give for every condition. So I use that pocketbook every day. That way I know I'm giving the right medication, the right doses for the right conditions and to the right patient. I always have this pocketbook with me in my lab coat. Some people carry mini physical exam resources. You can make flashcards of vital signs. Whatever you feel like you need and you would reference a lot, keep in your pockets. They come in handy so much when you're on the job, when you need to check something in the moment. You don't have to run back to the nursing station. You don't have to run to your locker. You already have it with you. And if there's something you need to look up, most hospitals give staff access to UpToDate, which is the most up-to-date evidence-based guidelines for practicing medicine and giving care. So UpToDate is a great resource and most hospitals are subscribed to it. So nurses and doctors can use them from any workstation. So I just want to mention too, there's always going to be a lot of different personalities in healthcare, and there are going to be some not so friendly nurses, and there's going to be some impatient doctors, and that just kind of goes with the territory. But don't let those people affect you. Some people are impatient and crabby with new nurses. Sometimes they're like that with everyone. So just don't take that to heart. Don't let it affect you. I used to get really affected by these kind of people, but really it's their problem. And if they have some helpful advice to give you, then fine. But if a doctor's just being impatient because you're not running fast enough, don't let that affect you. Don't let that ruin your day or get you down. Just know you're doing the best you can. This is completely new for you. This is a new environment, and their unrealistic expectations are not something you need to worry about. But for the most part, most staff are so wonderful and willing to help and will go out of their way to show you where things are. Most healthcare workers are so kind and so friendly and so willing to help. So don't let those few bad apples ruin it for you. The more positivity you have in the workplace, the better it's going to be for everyone. So don't let those people get you down. So I have gone through this new anxiety, not only as a new nurse, but also when I became a nurse practitioner. It was as though I was starting at square one and bam, right back to the beginning, just completely flooded with anxiety and stress. But like I said, it does get better. The more experience you get, the more patients you see, the better it's going to get. And it comes with time. It comes with time and it comes with experience. And I can say with both times becoming a nurse and becoming a nurse practitioner, it does get better with time. So give it 6 months, give it a year, and see how you're feeling. If after 6 months or a year, you just feel like your anxiety, your stress isn't getting better, it might be the job. They might not be giving you the resources you need. You might not be getting the breaks you need. So it might be time to think about the actual job and see if possibly moving to another unit or another hospital might help you. I would say don't give up on nursing. Maybe give a different specialty or a different area of nursing a try. There are over 100 different kinds of nurses, so don't give up on nursing. You just may not have found your niche in nursing yet. So don't give up on it. Try out some other areas. Maybe the hospital environment isn't for you. Maybe you would do better in a clinic. Maybe if you hate the clinic, you would do better in the hospital. Maybe you would love working as a school nurse, but don't give up on nursing. Nursing is so diverse and there's so many different avenues you could take with it. So I just want to give you guys an example. My very first job as an RN, I worked in an emergency department in Canada, and that's where I got my 6-month orientation, and the nurse to patient ratios were about 1:4, 1:5. But I don't ever remember having more than 5 patients there. And yes, we had our busy days, and yes, I had the stress, but I felt like it got much better after 6 months, and I felt competent, and I felt like I was learning, and I could manage my assignment at this job. So about a year later, I started working at a hospital in Detroit, and this job, so it was 12-hour night shifts, and I never got a break. I was completely overwhelmed, drowning every shift. I don't even think I ever got a chance to go to the bathroom. If your assignment was full, they would put gurneys in the hallway and say, here's your patient. They would be a heart attack rule out or a stroke rule out. I mean, these were sick patients. And so I worked there for 7 months, and I just knew that this was not a healthy environment and that it was not getting better. No matter how hard I worked, it was really taking a toll on me, and I knew I could not stay there. So I worked there 7 months, and in that time, I never got a break. I don't think I ever ate during a shift. I got out of my shifts at 7 a.m. feeling completely numb. Sometimes I would just collapse in my car and sit there before I had my hour drive home. It was terrible. And a friend of mine who also worked there, she's a nurse practitioner now too, and we talk about it all the time to this day, that this hospital in particular, this emergency department at this hospital, was just such an unhealthy place to work as a nurse. And for both of us, we felt the same way. But after working there, I started travel nursing in California, and I never felt that kind of stress or being overwhelmed again. In California, it's nice because they enforce the nurse to patient ratio, so I never had more than 4 patients, and it's manageable. Yes, you still get your stressful days, but when the hospitals are giving you the resources you need to perform well, it's gonna make such a difference. I always got my breaks working at the hospitals in California, and I never had more than 4 patients. It didn't matter how busy it was. That is just law in California. I feel like it's how it should be everywhere, but it isn't, unfortunately. But that helped me realize that this job in Detroit was just so unhealthy for nurses, and I was gonna drown there no matter how long I was there because I didn't have the resources and the support I needed to perform well as a nurse. If you've been at your job for a year and you're just feeling as completely overwhelmed as you were on the first day there, maybe just take a step back and assess the job and see if possibly that is what is contributing so much to the stress. I have worked in a dozen different emergency rooms, and this one particular job was the only job I ever felt that overwhelmed, that I was completely drowning, and that I couldn't cope. I mean, we're humans too. We have to take care of ourselves too. And if the hospitals aren't willing to back you up with that, then you definitely might want to consider getting out of that environment. So just know that having a little anxiety is a good thing. It means you're learning. It means you're developing new skills. You're learning how to become a good nurse. Some degree of stress can be healthy. Just don't let it swallow you. All right, you guys, so I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions about anything, please leave them down below in the comment section, and I will respond to you all. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so and hit the notification bell so you get all my new videos. Please give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and share it with a nurse friend or someone who you think might benefit from it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Reese says bye.